Upon further reflection, I think that your students don't really have to be as good as you are in order to get a black belt. They just have to be good enough to get the black belt, whatever the standards are in your organization or in your club, at your school, whatever you call it. They just have to be good enough to get the black belt. I've seen some people think that, well, you should try to make your students be better than you. Well, you know what? That sounds good, and I really like that idea, but that may not be fair to my students, because for all I know, I could have a genetic advantage that makes it possible for me to still do these moves in my 40s. Because there's some people that are in their 40s that they can't do this stuff anymore. And if I expected them to still be able to do high kicks cold like I can sometimes, they'd pull something or they'd fall flat on their face. But I bet you at the same time, if you eliminated high kicks from their equation, they could very effectively defend themselves. Look at Wing Chun. Wing Chun has low kicks. So I'm not going to hold my students to the standards of having to be like me. And I think that maybe was scaring off some adult students that I have. Well, I should not scaring off adult students. Scaring off people who could be adult students that I have, or that may want to be a student of mine. They may think that they have to do what I can do to get a black belt. First of all, I'm at a 4th degree black belt in my own system. That means if you're going for a 1st degree black belt, you don't have to look at me. You should just look at the requirements for being a 1st degree black belt. And quite frankly, I don't think you really need to be able to do what I can do to get a 4th degree black belt. I've seen some 4th degrees who can't do what I can do. I've seen some 4th degrees I'll never be able to do what they can do. So it's all relative. It's relative to your ability, to what you can do. Why did I say titive? Anyway, it's all relative to what you can do based on your ability. And, you know, as we get past 1st, 2nd, and 3rd degree, I think once you move past the first 3 degrees of black belt, it should be getting away from physical prowess and more towards mental prowess and teaching ability. Because at those points, people are really just instructing at that point. Maybe some people are still competitors at 4th degree if they're young. But for the most part, you need to be thinking about how you can pass on what you've learned once you get past the first few degrees, in my opinion. So for anybody who's looking to join a martial arts class, and I know I used to feel this way sometimes myself back in the day, you have got to stop looking at the instructor. Stop competing with the instructor. Stop competing with the people you see in the class that are senior students. And stop looking at yourself as you are now. Think of how you will be in the future. If you just ask the teacher. If you ask the teacher of the class, the teacher, the coach, whatever they're called, if they think it's possible for you to get a black belt in their system, if they say yes, why don't you believe them? If it's really not possible for you to get a black belt at their school or club or gym, they'll just tell you no. And I can understand why they may say no, because maybe their style is a very hard style that places a high emphasis on competition, on heavy contact training. Some schools are like that. There's some schools that, you know, unless you're going home with bruises every week, you're not going to make it. And now, some people will say that makes them more quote-unquote real than others. I don't think so. I don't think that makes them any more real or really less real. That's just the type of school they're on. Just like with me, I had an opportunity to train in the other direction back in the day. I could have trained at a school where there was no contact. They did no contact sparring, and they were Tang Sudo. I would have been able to continue on in Tang Soo Do with the rank that I had. I'd have been able to, I know I'd have gotten a black belt out of them. But you know what? No contact wasn't for me. So I said, you know what? No, thank you. And I'm pretty sure I would have gotten to be very good working out under that guy. His dad instructor was very good. His senior students were very good, very great technicians. But I could not wrap my head around no contact. I mean zero. When I say not like I do, where it's light contact and still people end up thumping each other every once in a while. If we get into it, we both know we can take it. People up the ante, or I've even come out of there working with the students with like a cut lip or something. No. Not my version of like light contact or touch contact. I mean literally no contact. I couldn't wrap my head around it at the time. Now I can, but then I couldn't wrap my head around it, so that wasn't the place for me. So if you're looking at a martial arts school, ask if you can get a black belt there. If you work hard, can you get a black belt there? If they tell you you can, take their word for it. Now, my only caveat is, of course, if there's something that's at the pit of your stomach that's just saying, no, I just feel uneasy. Now, you got to check your source of your uneasiness. If it's just your own fear and doubt, that's one thing. But if you sense something could be a little bit, for lack of a politically correct term, something a little psycho going on there. You get that creepy feeling. If you don't want to be there because you feel creeped out, that's different than you don't want to be there because you think it's hard. Okay? And especially now, if you're older and they're telling you that you have to take a lot of heavy contact strikes or heavy contact falls, and you just got that disc put back in place by your chiropractor, that's different. So just look at your own parameters of health. Let the instructor know your health concerns. And if the instructor is telling you that, yeah, you can do it, that won't be an issue, or no, you can't do it here, that is an issue, why don't you believe that instead of paying attention to your own insecurities? I mean, there's senior citizens getting black belts. There are kids who probably got a nightlight at home, they're getting black belts. It doesn't have to all be one way, because there isn't no one way. You got soft styles, you got hard styles, you got hard soft styles, you got soft hard styles. But in the end, everybody's trying to climb that same mountain. So if you can get to the top of the mountain, what's wrong if you get there flying a plane? You may think flying a plane is easier. It's easier if you're riding a plane to get up to the top of the mountain, but not if you're piloting the plane to get up to the top of the mountain. Peace.